Andrea Cruz with A Cruz Fine Art and the Painter's Loft Art Studio here in Corona, California. And in this video, I'll be demonstrating some techniques and tips on how I use graphite. When I first started painting and drawing, this is what I started with about 30 years ago. So I found a lot of different techniques that I found useful, as well as different pencils and how they work on paper. So if you have any questions, please comment below in the message field. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much. In this video, I wanted to give some tips on how I like to use some of the materials when I am working on a sketch. So in this process right now, I am just going through some of my pencils and seeing which one would work best for the job that I want to do. So this pencil in particular is an HB, which is kind of middle of the road. It's not too hard, it's not too soft. It allows me to get some depth of color and stay pretty light as well. And at this point, I'm also using a little bit of a white pastel underneath to see how it is affected and how well I can blend it down. My blending tools that I use is a piece of paper towel, and I also use a knead eraser. I can fully erase with that, or I can use it where there's a little bit of graphite on it, and then I can continue to draw with it. But I'm also seeing how well the pencil is picked up when there is a little bit of a white pastel underneath. So this pencil that's a little bit darker, this is an 8B, which is a very, very soft lead, and personally my favorite because I can get a nice gradation from this. I can get real light if I want to, and I can get really dark if I want to. So it's just really about going back and forth with my tools. I will normally layer my tools until I get to the depth of color that I like. So now I'm using a charcoal pencil, and I'm doing the same process just to see how that is going to come out. So now I'm ready to choose which one I want to use for my project. So right now I'm just using a white pastel, and I'm going to put all over the area that I'll be working in, because I do like the white pastel underneath. It just gives me more ability to pick up and to blend with that first. So right now I did choose the 8B because I think that it gives me more range, because I can get a really nice dark out of it, or I can stay pretty light depending on the pressure that I use on my pencil. So right now I'm just kind of sketching out my shape. I'm not really committing to any line in particular until I get the right shape down. So then once I have that shape down, then I start darkening the shape and making it more of a exact line. And I also like to use a medium tone. And how I get that is I will use a little piece of paper towel that I twist, or a stump, and I will just blend it all together. So I don't blend it hard enough where all my lines disappear, but I do blend it enough where I'm starting with a medium tone, and then I can work lighter and I can work darker. Once I give myself a medium tone, then I will go back in and strengthen some of my lines where now I know they need to be. And I will also give myself some highlights by adding white pastel or erase, or both. So I always like to work in threes. So I do the dark, the medium, and the light. When I start to commit to certain lines, I really want to take a look at the subject matter that I'm drawing for what it is, instead of what I think it should look like. Sometimes you just need to trust yourself and trust what your eye is really seeing, and just go off that. So I go with checks and balances. So I use the negative space and positive space being the subject, and the negative space, which is the space that surrounds it, or the outside of it. So I really look at those shapes and I make sure that they all line up kind of like a puzzle piece. And when I use the white pastel, I typically like something that's very powdery. You can get different kinds, some that are more compressed, which don't leave as much powder behind, or what I like is something very, very powdery that allows much more of a layer to be able to mix with. So I'm just going to continue to go through and darken some areas and really take a look at the eye. And is it round? Is it not quite round? Are there different flecks of color in there? Where do those flecks of color lie within the grayscale? And I'm just going in, adding more details as I go. You may find yourself that you need to go back and readjust some of the shades that you had placed earlier, just so it all makes sense and you have the correct tonal value next to each other. And that's okay, because I think it's all about adjusting over and over again. If you have any questions at all on product or technique, please message in the message field below. Also, if you like these videos, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.